We have so many stories in our lives, but our stories are not always heard. On the Hear My True Story podcast, we tell our own true stories.
Before the white car parked, our head teacher had scattered. Looking at him, I could only see his tie that was flying backwards, waving at us, and he disappeared in thin air.
I want to share my life story. I want to share my voice with the people because I know that just a small joke I can tell through this podcast, it will make someone smile.
When you ask me what I fear most in life, I would definitely respond to you and say it's fear itself.
We are fighting for togetherness. We are fighting for equal rights. We are fighting to end injustice.
You don't have to be a storyteller or writer because, guess what? Life writes the best stories.
Hear my true story.
If you go in details, what is music? Music is wide. Music is the sounds. Music is rhythm. Music is everything. So even when you go much in details, the heartbeat, everything's music. Language also have rhythm because there is a rhythm. That's why you hear rhymes. In our speech, you people who tell stories, the storytellers, when you start to rhyme, we can just create beats. Because beats, when you put beats on it, and then people will say, oh, that's music because of the beats. But without beats, also still it's music.
This is your favorite time of the week with your number one podcast.
Hear my true story.
Yeah, our dear listeners, welcome back again this week. It is me, your host, Otako, and I'm always happy to have you every week on this wonderful podcast. Yes, welcome to Hear My True Story. Yeah, the podcast where we tell true stories through spoken word, music, comedy, poetry, and conversations based on real life experiences. Yes. So in this episode this week, I have a conversation with an artist known by the name Edrine Matovu. We have hosted him on this podcast many times since we started the podcast. We have been always hosting him as a guest, sharing his personal experiences, stories, and that.
With you every week. Hear my true story.
Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange, woli kulaboti, woli genda nange. Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange, woli kulaboti, woli genda nange. Sanji, obanga mufumintiriza mu buli kyokola, obanga mwegendereza mu ntambula zo, Sanji gula w'amatu. Bigambo bya makulu, bigambo bya muwendo, kino kye kirisa engabe erikuma Sanji. Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange, oli kulaboti, oli genda nange. Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange, oli kulaboti, oli genda nange. weerabire tu mwana wange teweerabiranga gy'osibuka ne w'oliba ogenzeeyo ku mawanga ojjukiranga olulimi olwaffe oluganda olwagale olwagazise abato abaliddawo sanji mwana wange yensibuko yaffe sanji 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 wange mwana wa ddati oyo sanji mwana wange mwana wa mami oyo olikulabo oligenda nange sanji sanji gwe sanji sanji wange sanji sanji mwana wange sanji olikulabo oti oligenda nange
Our dear listeners, thank you so much for joining us again this week. I have my guest here, and we shall be talking about so many things. But anyway, we are going to talk about this song that you heard in the beginning. The song is called Insanji. We shall get to know what really inspired the artist to sing this song. We shall get to know what's the meaning behind the song. We shall get to know what really inspired the artist to tell this wonderful music. And also, we shall get to know, okay, where does the role of music in our society, why it is really important for us to really have music in our daily life, maybe in our society, maybe in our communities. And also we shall get to hear his experiences. He's not just an artist, a musician, but also a music teacher, professional. And also we shall get to know how can someone do his music as a migrant with an immigration background living in Europe and here in Germany, exactly what they do and what you can do to really survive as a person. So that is going to be our conversation this week, and we hope that you enjoyed the episode with us. So, yeah, my good friend, I want my dear listeners to understand who is behind the microphone and who is behind the laptop. I know you have been a guest on this wonderful podcast for many times, and not forget you did the music in our introduction for the podcast, and we are still using your music because you are the one who created the music for that wonderful introduction, and we hope to have another music for our podcast.
Thank you for this opportunity again. Sanji sanji wange sanji mwana wange boli kulaboti oligenda nange sanji sanji obanga mufumitiriza mu buli kyokola obanga mwegendereza mu ntambula zo sanji gulawa amatu bigambo bya makulu bigambo bya muwendo kino kye kirisa engabe eri kuma nsanji uliriza. Hello.
Yeah, I love this song.
That's my new creation. By the way, to the listeners, my name is Matovu Edrine. I come from Uganda, but at the moment I'm living here in Germany. I work in the school, as Otako has already said, and I'm also doing music in my free time. That's why I can get to produce 2-3 songs once in a while. You know, this busy schedule, I can't be producing music like every month, but I would like to do that. But once in a month or in a year, I make sure that I give out what I can. So I'm happy and I feel privileged to be part of this platform right now. And to my brother Otako, always to invite me and share my story and share my music. And, it's not really something small. I can't take it for granted. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Hear my true story.
Now, what is the message of your music? Because you did a song, Zanji.
Yeah. Josibuka oli bogenzeyo ku mawanga ojjukiranga olulimi olwaffe Oluganda olwagazise ne ida oyo omutaawo. So, actually my story, the meaning of this story is also based on the daily lives that I was kind of putting my mind in the song, like creating an archive of my thoughts. That was my first intentions, first putting my mind in thought, saying that telling my kids, all the kids, to people who can kind of reason like me, that they should listen very carefully what's happening in the world. They should listen to their parents, to the people around. They should be their keen. They should be keen to their movements, how they do things. They should first reason before doing whatever they want to do. So the whole message was like, I'm not like advising, but I was suggesting that to the fellow I don't want to limit it to say to Ugandans, but of course Africans or people from different cultures, that when they reach in new places, they should not forget where they come from. They should always be proud of where they come from. They should promote their cultures. Let them feel that they deserve. They deserve whatever they are. It is not a mistake for them to be born in Uganda. There's a reason why. Yeah, Otako, you are born in Busoga, and you're Musoga, not a Muganda in this case. It's not like a mistake or something else. You be proud of where you come from. And I was passing through this message saying that when you live where you are born and you come from different countries, you should keep the spirit of home going, like teaching a kid Lusoga or Luganda, that teaching a kid a language of your mother tongue. You might not even tell a lot of stories about of the judges and everything, because in the language itself, if we go, the topic for language is too big because it defines a lot, and we can't go through that right now. But through the languages, a kid knows a lot of things. The way of life of where you come from, the way how people speak also determines most of the time how do they think, because the stories you hear from our ancestors, or the stories, like you said, the African statement, it takes a community to raise a child. That's a language of which when you speak, even it affects your thinking. So getting the culture and everything. So I was like advocating and promoting, telling my fellow foreigners, people who come from different backgrounds, that they should keep on their cultures, their heritage alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, like when you say when expats, migrants come to countries like here in Europe, they should not forget the language, their Muttersprache, their mother tongue language, the first language that of the child. I mean, for us who have like biracial families, you have to raise a child with 2 or 3 languages. And for example, I speak English and then I speak German and then I speak Lusoga and then also I speak Luganda. Also I speak some Bunyoro because my mother is from Bunyoro. And then I speak now some Swahili. I'm in this complete state of languages where I need to choose which language I speak with my baby, maybe my kid. That would be, of course, Lusoga, English, and maybe German. Yeah. And that's why I use music personally. So I sing music in Lusoga. That's something I can really maintain with the baby, singing music in Lusoga. And then future on, going to conversing, talking to the language so that they get the language. And also it is proved that a child, when they learn their first language, it really also supports them to learn other new languages. So the way you learn your Muttersprache, I mean, your mother tongue language, I don't like it mixing German and English. Your mother tongue language, when you learn it well, that means that you are able to learn new languages and the second language and third language because you really understood your mother tongue language, because that is the ABCD of the language learning. Mother tongue language. So that's quite a good message in your song, because I had it. If my listeners are good at Luganda, they could understand the meaning of the song. But for those who are not good at Luganda and cannot understand Luganda, we have tried to give the message of the song. Yeah, and maybe you can get it.
Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange, boli kulaboti, boli gena nange.
Yeah. So how has your music, evolved over the years, and what are your hopes for it in the future?
Yeah, thanks for this question. First of all, my music has evolved because at first I used to play at home. There's this instrument called adungu. It is a traditional Uganda instrument with strings. So first of all, I used to play it just for me myself, and I was feeling shy. I was shying away playing it to other people. And then came a time of which I felt like then I started recording on my phone. I'm talking about evolution of the music, recording on the phone. And then I realized, like, why not to people to understand this music, also to enjoy it. And then I started putting on machines and trying to record the first song, the Vata, and it worked out. And that's what I was more happy when I hear people like you appreciating the music when you listen to it, and that inspired me much to put more to all music platforms like Spotify, like Music Cloud, like iTunes. You can find it on YouTube. So I think now I'm on that level which anyone who wants to listen to my music or to this kind of music, you can find it everywhere. And my goal for this music, I don't want to keep it for myself. I want to share it with the world and people to listen to it, to share the message, to share the melodies, to enjoy it. If you don't understand the language, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, we have a good thing, which right now it came, that on Google, Luganda as a language, it is there. So you can just translate the whole song. You can go to Google, you put Luganda, and everything will be done like other languages, English, like Germany. So now Luganda is already international. So answering to all my friends who are saying, please sing in English and do this. I was singing English, but of course I'll put my mother tongue language first, and then other languages could follow, because there are certain ways I can't express in English or in Dutch, like I can express myself in Luganda. So if it's about expression, I'll first flaunt the language I can express myself fluently, and then I bring other languages to back up, to make the message reach my people.
I mean, you don't have to sing in English for people to dance to your music. Personally, I used to dance to Spanish music.
Yeah.
I didn't know Spanish, but I used to dance to Spanish music. And I didn't need to know what they are speaking. I just listened to the beats and the instruments. Yeah. That's really a big point. You need to speak the language you're good at expressing yourself. And that's how art
Thank you
works,
so much.
Art can't work when you don't understand the detail of the language, the expression. You can't express yourself musically, artistically, in the story, maybe like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Sanji wange. Oh.
This brings me to another question, which is like, as a professional musician and a music teacher, what advice do you have for aspiring musicians with an immigrant background in Germany and Europe, and they would like to do music?
Yeah. Actually, what I do, I can only talk about my experience, what I've passed through. I don't know if someone can get a riff from there and then it could work. First of all, when you come here as an immigrant, there are many, of course, things you pass through it. You miss home, you miss food, you miss friends. There are many things which happens. So if you got a chance that at least you play an instrument, or you know how to sing, or you have an instrument to play, in your free time, the time when you have to calm down, get your instrument, play it. Or if you don't play instrument, sing. Make sure that you sing. And something which I can also advise, and I feel like it's really good at the moment, like there are these recording instruments. Machines are not that much expensive here in Germany. Of course, there are those depending on the app software which are expensive, but there are different platforms of where we can find these machines, or depending on your financial stability. Just to say that you can acquire a recording microphone slowly by slowly. You can buy your machines if you want your music to be out. Or before you go to do that, you can also pass it through a phone. There are many songs we see just people recorded, like TikTok, the way people do. Sometimes they play live music, they put it on your TikTok, and you find the music is very viral. So you don't need to go to those expensive music studios. Of course, it's good when the production is really good. But at first, if you can't afford, that does not hesitate you from doing music, because music is beyond the machine. Music is you. It's from the soul. You don't need to you feel panic that I cannot do music because I don't have money to go to those expensive studios. No, you can stay on your phone. You can put it on social media. Your live, you can just sing on TikTok, sing on Facebook. You can sing to your friends in birthday parties. Wherever there's opportunity for you to sing, please sing. Because singing is not only to get a job or to get the financial, to become rich or what, but it heals you. It heals you as a person. For me, it heals me. It's my meditation, personally. And it brings me down. It brings me time to reflect about my day, about my life and my future. So through music, actually most of the music I sing much at home with my instrument than I produce. Today I give you one song, but actually, before I give you that one song, I've sung like 5-6 songs for myself and to the people around me, which means that this brings me down and heals me as a person. Not thinking about being commercial in music, but first, if you want really to sing and you love music, first do it for yourself. You don't need machines. If you need people to hear what you sing, the good thing you have a smartphone. I think everyone in Germany, for God's sake, you can afford a smartphone. If you want people to hear you, use the social media, sing, and people will hear you. But you can also use it for yourself to calm down, not to go into depression, because it's a lot here. Many things happening like that. But use your music as your meditation, for your reflection, heal, and calm down. That's what I can say.
Enjoying this episode? Leave a review now.
Hear my true story.
Yeah, so I really thank you for that wonderful advice for anyone who really wants to do music here in German as a migrant, someone with an immigration background. It's really important to love what you're doing and also believing that you can really do it. Just like you said, I don't need to add on anything about that. So I want to ask you, how have you, as in how has your experience as a music teacher influenced your own music?
That's a good question. Actually, before I answer that question, I want to tell our dear listeners that the music you hear from me, actually, I've never gone into any school to learn production or to do kind of like music of production and everything. But it's only learning all the production from YouTube, the different lessons, and I produce my music myself. I write it, I produce it.
Wow.
And everything you hear that I back up myself, everything I do it myself. I play drums, I play the keyboard, I play the adungos. Okay. So I do it myself, but I take my time. That's why most of the time I have my friend here, Otako, tells me, Edrine, you have taken a long time without giving us something new. And I say, yeah, anytime I'm alone, I need to be my producer, I need to be my advisor, I need to be my writer, I need to correct my vocals. So everything's like, it's time. It takes time, but I do it on my time. I'm not on pressure, but I find time that I do it in my time. Everything slowly by slowly. So you can also do it like that. Slowly by slowly, you learn one thing with another, how to do things like that. So going back to the question, how is teaching music influence my recording music? That was the question?
Yeah, the question was how your experience as a music teacher, how has it influenced your own music career here?
Yeah. Actually, when I started singing at school when I was still studying to become a class teacher, because I started to be a class teacher and subject as music. So as I was staying with colleagues, with fellow students, we used to sing, and I was like the one coming from Africa, and most of the time people were like, give us one song from Africa. Give us one song from Africa. So it was not like the kind of like I could shy away because I'm a shy person. I really want to be at the background. But being an African in the group of people coming from there, they want to listen to African song.
Yeah.
And I was there. So I had to sing a lot, bringing one new a traditional song, another one.
Yeah, you had a challenge of being the only black African in a class of becoming a class teacher. And everyone's like, wow, give us music. Then you realize, okay, actually, I realize I have a musical career.
No, so it wasn't like that.
Okay.
So I started singing more and more because before I was really like dancer. I was a dancer. All my life I've been dancing.
Wow.
So becoming more in music, me becoming more in this direction of music, when I started studying to be a class teacher and a music teacher. So during those times of singing, teaching people African songs there and there, I worked on my vocals indirectly and directly, and also to thinking about more with creation. Because there was a time of which I've really like sang all the songs which I could be like knowing there and then. And sometimes I could like get a song which I already know and I have to make like different variations. Like the song given like Jambo, Jambo Bwana habari gani muzuri sana. That song was the Swahili song, Jambo. And then reaching the part, like, people have already sang it and they need more new songs. What could you do? I could get like one song and I use my creativity. And I could say, Jambo, 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 Jambo. And I can give another group, Jambo, 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 Jambo,
Jambo,
and I create something.
Jambo. Jumbo, jumbo, jumbo. The jumbo meaning it means in English bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a greeting. Jumbo, it's a greeting.
Yeah, it's a greeting. It's a Swahili word meaning hello.
Hello, something. Hello, yeah.
Yeah. And that helped me much to bring into me into this place of being creative, because people were asking for more, and actually I didn't have any more, so I had to create of which already have to make it more. So I had to recreate what's already there. So from that experience, I said, oh, if I could do that, I can also do my music myself. That inspired me through this recording music you hear right now.
Wow. So that actually means that your training of being a music class teacher, will give you a challenge, and you started just creating because there was demand. The people were
because
really
of demand.
Yeah. And I see that. I can see in your music that you see a touch of thinking, the message, because you have that education background of being taught to be a teacher, to think about what message do I tell the public, do I tell the people listening, and that also influences your conversation. The same thing when it comes to me, because when I tell stories, and I have a teacher background in Uganda, and then I'm trying to be an educator here in German. So with all these pedagogical trainings, I think stories differently. I think about the message. I think about the language. I think about the authentic. Am I not using propaganda to tell what is not right? So I think a lot, and then that really shapes my way of telling stories and sharing, and also developing the podcast. Yeah. So before we come to the end of this wonderful conversation, I want to ask you, is one of the last part of 2 or 3 questions before we conclude. I mean, can you tell us about any upcoming projects and performances that you have for the fans, or for anyone who really likes hearing your music? What should they expect?
Actually, the last month I got sometimes off from school, and I try to get something done in my studio, and I'm planning I'm planning on. I have 2 projects I'm working on with a friend of mine who came to visit me, and is coming also from Uganda. And most of the time I get the inspiration actually from also friends who come in. And through our conversations, I just grab my adungu, my instrument, and say, what did you say? And I start creating from there, and we start creating together.
I mean, which friend of yours is that? That is okay if you don't want to say their name. It's also fine.
For now, I just keep it for myself, because I want you to be expecting. I don't want you to call him and he say, no. Okay. I heard that you have a project with Edrine. Let me listen to it now. Let me keep it for myself now. But this project is really working on 2 languages. We use Luganda and Ludama.
Yeah.
So the song is in Ludama and Luganda.
Is there English and German?
English and German, and will come in the days later. But right now, I want first utilize this chance to work more with with my language and other the so-called local languages. But the project is really nice, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to bring it out. I think maybe, if not the end of this month, the next month I have to release this song. But it's gonna be really good. There are a lot of good harmonies, good message, the instrumental, and there's something new. I had it because I had to upgrade on my sound with the production, because I'm learning more. Sometimes when I get time, I learn more the production. So there are certain things you hear and you're like, is this Edrine? What happened to it? Did he went to the professional studio or what? So I'm really excited about these 2 songs. The one I did it alone is really good, and it's going to be, because people have been listening more to my calm music. Now I'm going to try also to bring this kind of like movable people to dance. I have also one project like a danceable Afro music, which is going to be out. So those are the two projects I'm working on right now.
Wow.
And I'm too excited. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Thank you. I really look forward to that new wonderful project that is coming up, a multilingual project. I look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I look at that. Anyway, I want to ask the next question because you already talked about it, the role of music and what it plays in our society. We mentioned so much about that. Unless you want to throw in some points about it. What is the role? What do you think is the role of music in today's society?
I think music is like something which is self-explanatory, something which is visible, something which is very strong, and we all know that this is the kind of thing we only have, which is like international. You can't even cross it if you don't play the music on your platform, your radios, your TV. You find it everywhere. So the music is uncontrollable, and everyone wants music, because if you go in details, what is music? Music is wide. Music is the sounds. Music is rhythm. Music is everything. So even when you go much in details, the heartbeat, everything's music. Language also have rhythm because there is a rhythm. That's why you hear rhymes in our speech. You people who tell stories, the storytellers, when you start to rhyme, we can just create beats, because beats, when you put beats on it, and then people will say, oh, that's music because of the beats. But without beats, also still is music. So like people who do hip hop. So the role is so big, and for me, it's meditation. It's medicine. It's very giving me power, energy to move on, give me hope. Something which I cannot really explain it in depth, because it is beyond explaining it.
Music is medicine. It's meditation. Music is language. Music is sound, which we need in our daily life in society. Music is communication. Music is passing on messages. That's really wonderful. I like that. I listen to music almost every day. And sometimes when I'm in class, when maybe I'm taking a walk, I'm just rhyming myself, singing my own. I'm not a musician, but I sing things that I've been singing as a child before. I keep singing them to myself. Yeah. Sing songs like Ngwangwangwali, 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 ngotako ngwangwali, ngwangwangwali, 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 ngwangwali, wankofu yako wenkoko.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
For you, just repeating ngwangwali,
ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Okay, we start now. Ngwangwali,
ngwangwali, ngwangwali,
ngwangwali,
ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Tiwankofu yako benkoko,
ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Tuje kukwitale,
ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Nze tije kwitale.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Amadi kunkuba.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Nze tije jamani.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Okwogera olujamani.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Olujamani lundita.
Ngwangwali, ngwangwali.
Munaluzibu. Yeah. So anyway, dear listeners, this is one of the storytelling song in Lusoga. It's called Ngwangwangwali. It's about a chicken and another bird that we're having a conversation. Let's go and we eat some things in the field. And the chicken says no. The owner of the field will find us. And then also rain will find us there. And then I'll end up getting a bald head and maybe losing my life. So it is a wonderful storytelling song.
Then you have to come to my studio. I saw you have all the skills. Come to the studio.
I should come to your studio. I'm thinking about that. I need to find time. You guy, I don't know, getting time as a new, like being a father.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not easy as like a new parent. I'm trying to fix time here and there. I'm trying to find my rhythm. The time when I get myself a good rhythm to balance taking care of the small one, also being there for the family, and also doing my part, job, work, school, then I'll be able to pass by your studio. And I want to do that storytelling with you. And then it will be done.
Inshallah, you will find time.
Sanji wange, Sanji mwana wange.
Yeah, so finally, I before we finish the conversation with you, can you let our listeners know where they can find your music and keep up with your work, maybe updates with your work? Where can they find it?
My music, you can find it on Spotify, YouTube, iCloud. So wherever there is music platform, my music is everywhere. I've already uploaded it to different music platforms. So you can find it anywhere you want, as long as it's a music platform. Yeah. My new projects will come out, I think, end of this month or the coming month. So I'm still like in the process of mastering, working on some technical works. But when I finish that, then I'll put it out. I'm so excited of these projects because they're kind of different. They're gonna be wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, our dear listeners, that was it for today's episode of Hear My True Story. Thank you for listening and sharing your time with us. We hope you enjoyed the stories and gained some new insights and perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss any episode, And if you loved what you heard, please leave us a rating and a review. It helps other listeners just like you to find this show. If you have a true story that you would like to share with us, yes, please, you can find us on our wonderful website and say hello and maybe reach us on our social media platforms. Until next time, keep telling your own true stories, and we see you next time in the next episode of Hear My True Story. Thank you. Would you like also to say bye, my good friend?
Yeah, thank you so much for listeners, for the time you have given us. And please, when you find time, you can also go check me up on YouTube. Subscribe, Edrine Matovu Arts. That's my YouTube channel. And Spotify, you can follow me wherever you can find the music platforms. Just follow me. I use Edrine Matovu. Edrine Matovu is my name everywhere. And yeah, I'll keep also updating you on the next new coming projects. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Otako.
Yeah, thank you, my dear listeners. Thank you so much. I'd like to leave you this wonderful music from Edrine Matovu.
Baby, umenishinda. Nipe mkono wako, nataka tutembee pamoja, tuende sokoni. Ninunue zawadi inayokufaa kwa juu ya urembo wako mpenzi. Ili mutima gwo mwe muli eddagala lyange erimponya obulwadde buli obwagaana. Mpulira bangi bagamba ebyange byalema, ebyange tebisoboka, naye mpulira munda muli. Bambi ogwange togumenya, tonkola ebyabali, ndi muto mu nsonga zino. Kati ntwala oba kibalume, gwe kirumye agende ampabire mu nkulu. Era ntwala kuba osiimye, ogwange togumenya, suubiriri mu ggwe. Ntwala oba kibaluma kibalume, ebyange naawe bibyo, ebyaffe byaffe. Mukwano ogwange gugo gugo, n'ogugogo gwange gugo, omutima gwasimba. Pendo, 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 pendo lako. Pendo, 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 pendo lako.
We not only have voices for a podcast, but also faces for YouTube. Don't miss your next episode. Hear my true story.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, Music by Edrine Matovu, hosted and produced by Otaku. Subscribe to our podcast for more stories and visit us on our website, hearmytruestory.com, for more stories. All the links are listed in the show notes of this podcast.